Now that spring football is starting to wrap up here, I want to go through some of the players who were my biggest winners this spring. I'm not going to do biggest losers or anything like that, but the people that, and I say biggest winners as this, the people that stood out to me the most this spring. Who are the 5 guys that stood out to me the most? Let's go through some of them. Some of the highest risers that I think, and even maybe storylines going into August, and something that we will talk about all off season here when it comes to this football team in 2025. Here are the top 5 players that took the biggest leaps for me and stood out the most. Let's go to this entire position group, specifically talking about 3 players. You know where I'm starting off with this. It's edge. Guys, Gabe Reliford is the overall winner for me this spring. Gabe has shown that he can be physical at the point of attack. He's shown me some really good things in the running game, especially in team periods where he's making stops in the running game, being very violent on the edge, and quite frankly, has caused problems and has caused issues for Garrett Nussmeier in the passing game. 2 weeks ago, they go on the first team period, and the first play we said that it was a fade route to Chris Hilton that was incomplete. In the practice notes, if you remember, Weston Davis and Gabe Reliford are going one-on-one. Gabe Reliford hits him with a dip and rip. He gets the outside, and quite frankly, Nuss should have been sacked. He has done, and it has been in every practice for me, the number one person that I feel as if that stood out the most. I think that the reason that he stood out the most is not necessarily for every single little thing that he's done right. The reason that I think that Gabe Reliford has stood out the most to me is because you brought in 3 edge players. Butler, and I say edge as I think Butler can play more of the 3-tech, 5-tech, regardless. Jack Pyburn and Patrick Peyton. You went out there and, let's just call it what it is, spent the money and did what you needed to do for 3 of those guys. And 2 things happened in that situation. Number 1, you got extremely talented depth. But number 2, you pushed a kid who was a freshman last year and now is a sophomore, and he's putting his hands up saying, listen now, thank you for inviting these guys in, but I'm going to be in this rotation whether you like it or not because my play is going to dictate it. That is what has happened with Gabe Reliford. The second thing would be is that we're just seeing the maturity of a top 50 player from year 1 to year 2. If we're looking at the top player that has stood out the most to me, that would be my spring winner, it would be Gabe Reliford. Number 2. Or let me back up. Number 2 at edge, Jack Pyburn and Patrick Peyton. Guys, I think the level of concern for Patrick Peyton with me was that the entire narrative coming out of Florida State for Patrick Peyton was he doesn't have a high motor. Well, it seemed like he had a high motor when you went undefeated in the regular season. It was when his entire team crumbled and you were 2-10 and nobody was giving effort, and he knew he was going to go in the portal. That, look, man, it's a 2-10 season, and Mike Norvell couldn't reel anything in. The only thing that I have seen this spring has been Patrick Peyton giving effort. And when I see that, and I see him giving a lot of effort, I see him in the red zone running down a running back from the opposite side. He's lined up on the right side of the offense at edge. There's an outside zone to Kane Durham, and he just comes crashing down and he makes the tackle from behind in the red zone. The ball was at the 5-yard line, by the way, when that happened. If it's an effort thing, if it's something that it was my biggest concern, because he's got the talent, man. Because we've seen Patrick Peyton do it against anybody and everybody that they've played. He did it against SEC schools. He's done it in the ACC. Quite frankly, he was a big part of what helped Florida State run that season. He's been really impressive to me. Jack Pyburn, look, man, physical dude. I've said it. If I've said it once, I've said it a billion times. I do not believe that Well, it's not that I don't believe. I don't know because I do believe he can do this. I don't know if I misspoke. Sorry. I don't know if Jack Pyburn will ever have a sack at LSU. One thing that I do know is he sets the tone and he brings a level of physicality that guys at that position, Braden Swinson or not, you have not had in the running game. It's not an opinion. Guys, like there are opinions that we have out here, right? Like opinions in reference to, no, this guy's better. No, that guy's better. Okay, cool, whatever. The outright true fact, there is no way in hell that you can convince me that Jack Pyburn has not been your most physical edge. And quite frankly, it maybe since BJ Ojulari, but BJ is not as physical as Jack Pyburn, excuse me. And that's not a knock on either one or a positive for the other. He is a tone-setting human being. That whole group has been very impressive to me. But Gabe Reliford's my big winner, but that one for sure. Another winner for me this spring has been Trey'Dez Green. When I think about Trey'Dez Green, this is my outright thought what I put in my notes. We all know the biggest mismatch on the field. The entire time he is the biggest mismatch on the field. He's made exceptional catches in the red zone. ... He's made exceptional catches every time he's touched the football. QBs have to understand that when they're throwing him the ball in the red zone, that he can go make the freakish play. That you got to throw the ball up to him because he can go up and make the freakish play. Guys, he's virtually been unguardable. Really. I mean, the linebacking room, the safety room have struggled. You know, they did a mic'd up with Trey'Dez Green today. And Deshaun Spears winds up getting a PBU in the end zone. Well, if the ball's thrown up a little bit more, it's a touchdown, and it's for 6. Or he's hitting a seam route on West Weeks, or he's hitting a seam route on Tamarcus Cooley, or he's hitting an in route on Mansour Delane, or he's hitting an in route on DJ Pickett. All things that have happened in the video that was posted today. He is an outright freak. He is an outright freak of nature. Because you bring in Bauer Sharp, and I do think that you will utilize Bauer Sharp in multiple situations. There is not, from a physical standpoint, in certain situations, a bigger mismatch than a 6'7", 6'8" tight end who runs the way that he does. Guys, he did that against Baylor. He can do that against everybody. Trey'Dez Green, to me, it is of my opinion that he has the level and capability that, guys, he has the chance. Might not get that chance. I don't want to put this on him like that, but he has the chance to be a guy that you look up in 15, 20 years, and he's wearing a gold jacket. I fully believe that. I know that's high praise. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I feel like that he has that level of athleticism. If he puts it all together and your quarterback gets him the football in the red zone, guys, he could be a double-digit touchdown guy. He 100% could be a double-digit touchdown guy. He is a freakish matchup. You should have utilized him more last year in the red zone. I would target him every time that you get down there. You get into second down, I'm finding the best play for Trey'Dez Green, or I'm using him as a dummy, lining him out wide, letting him run a fade route, and let everybody take care of that. Run something underneath that, because the safety's got to take care of Trey'Dez Green along with the corner, that you utilize him. He is the biggest mismatch. There's not been anything that he's done from a receiving standpoint that I don't think that he hasn't shined at the highest level. At the end line of scrimmage, I think he's had some issues. That's something that we needed to address. I do think Bauer Sharp at the current moment, even though it's Bauer Sharp, has given you some better reps on the end line of scrimmage. Trey'Dez has got to continue to work and build on him playing tight end. Guys, he gave up basketball. He is a freakish Hall of Famer football player. I'm glad he gave up basketball, really and truthfully. I think it's the best nature of it for him. I think he did make the right decision. He is a freak. He is a freak. So he was my number 2 winner. Number 3, Weston Davis. This one didn't come without his problems in the beginning of camp. Weston Davis, on day 1 of spring football, without trying to be rude, he did not have a great day. Day 2, did not have a great day. Day 3, okay. 2-minute warning. Patrick Peyton's on you. And you stop him all 4 times that you had the football. You made the play. Then it happened again. Man, you had Gabe Reliford, a sophomore, on a red-shirted freshman, 2 guys that came in the same class, and Gabe got a sack on him. Didn't happen again. I'm interested to see what happens with Weston Davis. I put him in my biggest winners of spring football. I put it with an asterisk. I think he started off spring football, and it was rough on him. The reason I highlight him here is because I think he finished damn strong. Now, we have not played a game yet. We haven't even – the guys are going to play a half, right? They're going to play a half of football, and I'm assuming they'll go to some situational drills in the second half. More practice style of stuff. But I hope that Weston Davis continues to show, for me, something that I'm looking out for. I hope that Weston Davis shows that from day 1 as a starter till now, well, he's done some good things. I think he's developed. I've seen development from him. I've seen him be better. I've seen him be more physical, which I thought was a big concern going into day 1. Every day I feel like Weston Davis, number 75, is getting better. And that's a very good sign. Want to see it again in August. Want to see it again on Saturday. Want to see that continue to take heap. But I put it with an asterisk because if you have a bad performance on Saturday, if you start having bad performances again in August, okay, well, I guess we'll see. You know, I talked about Gabe Reliford earlier in this segment. I talked about Gabe Reliford and you bringing in 2 edge players and 3 edge players, and it feels as if that his elevation of play went up. I feel like when Josh Thompson, the time that Weston Davis started to get better was the time that Northwestern transfer Josh Thompson came in, who was at right tackle. And they put him at right tackle. Boy, Weston Davis's play got a lot better. Got a lot better. Again, put it with an asterisk. But I like the development and I just like the development. I like seeing the development there. Okay. Number 4, Michael Turner and DJ Pickett. Guys, I've seen 2 young corners, redshirt and true freshman corners, that have constantly made some big plays here. I have no earthly idea. I have no clue if Michael Turner will give you any reps this year. What I have seen from Michael Turner is an interception on Michael Van Buren, an interception a PBU against Garrett Nussmeier, and a stop in the running game, which he was there as the second guy to make a stop. But all 3 of those, one was in the red zone when he had the PBU. The interception was against Barry and Brown on a fade route in 2-minute warning that Michael Van Buren threw, which I thought was a good play by Michael Van Buren, but I thought he made the wrong read. It was a good throw, bad read. He picks the ball off and rips it away from Barry and Brown, who's a senior and experienced in the SEC. Guys, I mean, think about this. Barry and Brown made the play against Ole Miss last year for them to win the game. It's not like that he hasn't been in that situation before. It's an impressive play by Michael Turner. I still feel like Michael Turner's got to put on some weight. Michael's got to put on at least 20 pounds. At minimum 10, best case scenario is that he puts on 15 pounds. He gets up to 6'1", 6'2", 170 pounds. Because he's around 6'1", I think, right now. He can't sit there at 155. He just cannot. He can go out there and cover. He's got electric speed. Guys, if you go to like the EA Sports, the game, the college football game, his speed's at 99 and he's at receiver. He's got elite speed. He's got serious track speed. But he's been making some plays. I like seeing that development. I like seeing him out there making plays. And, guys, we got to be better at corner. Blake Baker is going to send heat. You're going to be in man-to-man coverage. You got to find guys that can go out there and make plays. Because if you don't, God help us, it's going to be bad. But here's been a massive storyline, as it should have been. I think DJ Pickett has been really good. You know, what's funny is there's a group of guys that are massive LSU fans that I'm in a text thread with. And in that text thread, during the bowl game, I told them and sent them a message. All massive NIL contributing, love LSU to death, Tiger fans. In that, I told them, look, the bowl game for DJ didn't go. The bowl game practice reps did not go great for DJ Pickett. I literally started off by saying, don't panic. His first day of practice, he got welcomed to college football. It's to be expected. In that text thread, and I might have even said it on here, kid showed, though, the athleticism that you see that he could do some things that are special. Because DJ's made plays that I feel like, I'm like, okay, that all of this makes sense now. Whether it be a post on Chris Hilton, whether it be a post on Barian Brown, whether it be a hitch route, whether it be an in route, he's made good plays all over the place. Don't know if he's mentally ready as a freshman, which no, I don't think hardly any freshmen are mentally ready. But I don't know if he's ready mentally. I don't know if he starts against Clemson. I don't know any of those things. What I do know is that as the season goes on, and even in that Clemson game, they will find a way to get him reps. He will be on the field. Right now through spring, it's a passing grade for me, quote unquote. And the passing grade is, okay, I get it. Seeing him up close, seeing him up personal, okay, I get it. I 1,000% get it. I love seeing young corners and young DBs making plays. Ashton Stamps, Mansour Delane. I'll even throw Mansour Delane in there. P.J. Woodland, which is the same year as Michael Turner, but P.J. Woodland, like, hey, man, you played a lot last year. You played a lot. Look, man, you're not settled there. Guys, there's no starting corner right now. I was asked a question this week in the show. Blake, who's corner one? I have no clue. Mansour Delane. That after that, I have no clue. And I have no idea what the rotation would be. And quite frankly, when they have gone to nickel, Mansour Delane has played in the slot. Star position comes out. He goes to the slot, and you're bringing two new corners in. Now, it's been Jakeem Jackson and Ashton Stamps, but not every time. It's been Jackson and DJ Pickett. It's been Michael Turner and Mansour Delane and Jakeem Jackson. They've rotated that position out like hot pockets in a midsummer day. Rotating them pizza rolls in and out. But they sizzling that corner room. They've done some really good things, man. They have won, regardless of what happens on Saturday, regardless. I don't care if Garrett Nussmeier and this receiving core has 6 receiving touchdowns. Maybe that's egregious. But I really don't – my opinion – I don't know if my opinion right now could be moved. They might have a bad day, and maybe it can be slightly moved. But I'm not anticipating that happening. So we'll see. Hopefully they can go out and show us some really good things. Number 4, Sadir Mitchell. Hadn't seen him much running with the ones, except what it's been in individual drills or team or position drills where the O-line and D-line are going up against each other. Now, he's come in some situations with the first team when it's dictated it, but in passing downs, he hasn't been there. So when they go 2-minute warning, he's not in there. But when they go in the running game, early down situations, Sadir Mitchell has been really the DT1. Guys, the story that came out with him this week about him getting carted off, he didn't get carted off. I called some people today and was like, did he get carted off? There's a report out there he got carted off. No. Well, of course he didn't. Again, so aggravating that we got to take time out of our own day to figure out if a story that everybody keeps sending you is true or false. And this one was false. He came back to practice on Tuesday, didn't go back in, but he came back and he was out there again at practice today. Good on it. God bless America. But if we're talking about on-field football stuff, Sydir Mitchell has definitely been a standout and a winner for me. Has not been moved in the running game. Y'all saw the reps. Guys, you get footage, and you've gotten footage that's all over the place that you can see exactly what we're talking about. Like I had a discussion and a debate when I said, look, man, Sydir Mitchell hadn't gotten moved all camp. And I had people in the chat saying, yeah, number 94. Blake said that Sydir Mitchell was out there getting moved. Number 94 got pancaked. Well, first off, here's the thing. He's not number 94. He's not number 94. He's 99. And if you want me to send you any link, maybe he gets moved once. We've talked about some individualized one-time situations where that's happened. I promise you, 99 hasn't gotten moved. It hadn't happened. Today he wins the rep, and everybody's like, oh, well, no, he doesn't win the rep. No, he won the rep. He's got the shoulder pad of the center. The guard can't get off to the second level, and Kyle Williams freaks out in the video, and he's like, hell yeah, hell yeah. And they're like, why is Kyle freaking out? Because he's taking on the blocks, and he's not allowing the center or the guard to get to the second level. He's stuffing the run. That's why. So you want to know why Kyle Williams, and there's a video out there of Kyle Williams losing his shit today. He's losing his shit because he knows exactly what Sydir Mitchell needed to do. He's losing his shit because he won the rep. Guys, the video's out there. Let's go and talk about it. Let's post it up in here. He's been a winner. You're going to have to take him out on passing down situations. Y'all know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. But in these early down situations, 99's got to be ready. I've said this. We'll say it all off season while the spring, or at least through the spring portal period. I still think you need a DT. This kid has been the best so far this spring, without a doubt, at being a guy that helps you stop the run. No other DT outside of Ahmad Bro in some situations. To me, it's been Sydir Mitchell that has won that position room and position group. He's won it. Dominic McKinley has had some really good plays. Team period a couple of times. He made some tackles for loss. Some other times he got blown off the football, and Caden Durham got a good run. Need some consistency out of Dom McKinley. Sydir Mitchell has been a big winner for me. All right. Last but not least, Blake's going to be a homer on this one. Blake's a homer. Guys, it's Chris Hilton. I don't need my notes for this one. Guys, if healthy, I know what we will say. Let's just get to it. If healthy, Chris Hilton, like he showed you at the end of the year, guys, Oklahoma defensively doesn't suck. Their secondary doesn't suck. They're going to have 3 guys that get drafted in their secondary this year. They didn't suck. They had really good safeties. They had a really good corner that will probably get drafted in the 3rd round. Guys, when Chris Hilton's healthy, he's one of the most dangerous wide receivers in the SEC. He is. He's a winner for me because he showed up every day. I do think that he can push to be your number 1. Fully believe that. Fully believe it. Problem is I also put that one with an asterisk. The reason I put it with an asterisk is as much as I love Chris Hilton, he's been hurt too much. Don't know if I can rely him going into the season fully healthy. I don't. I pray to God that he does. I pray to God that he is. I do pray that God gives Chris Hilton the ability to show everything that he's got. I do. Guys, here is a truth, and I will take heat from this. and please ask anybody that's around that goes to it, please, I don't mean this in a wrong or negative way, but it's happened. I've been there and saw it with my own eyes. Chris Hilton has beaten numerous DBs and corners on your team a lot. A lot of it has been on fade routes. You have not completed enough of them. You haven't. Brian Kelly came out and said this as much. So if you do not want to believe me, please go to mid-spring Brian Kelly press conference when the second thing that he brings up is that he says this in a press conference, which I hope nobody missed. He says, I hope that Chris Hilton and Nick Anderson and Barian Brown and Aaron Anderson and Xavion Thomas, damn near the same order. I hope they're all working on building chemistry during the offseason. Why did Brian Kelly bring that up? We started off a show talking about that exact thing from Brian Kelly. You know why he brought it up? Chris Hilton was he beat Mansour Delane, he beat Jakeem Jackson, and he beat DJ Pickett on a fade route. It happened. Did not get connected. He had a step on every one of the receivers, and the ball was thrown out of bounds. Michael Van Buren has done it. Garrett Nussmeier has done it. They got to find that chemistry, and they got to find it now. The thing of why he's a winner is he's always open. He's always open. They haven't connected on it. They haven't. They haven't. They have done it sometimes. There have been a pair of times where the ball is thrown accurately, and Chris Hilton has a step on every DB that is on your team, and he scored a touchdown. I can think of 3. I can think of 7 times where it was incomplete. That chemistry and connection has got to be better. It has got to be better. Coming out of spring, for me right now, and we're actually going to post this segment next week. So if you've watched it, I'm sorry. But we're going to post all the things that we just talked about. We'll post a lot of stuff after Saturday. For me, right now, the Thursday before the game, through all of the practices, that has been the winners for me. That has been the biggest thing in players that have caught my eye. Now, we have 3 more a game and 2 more practices to go. I don't know how much more of my opinion will be changed, if any. What I do know is that you have some talent and you have some positions that I think that you might lack it. There have been a lot of players that have stood out to me. A lot. Got to connect on some of those things. We'll see if they do. All right. We had a couple of super chats in here I saw. Jackie Harris with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Jackie. I greatly appreciate it. Says portal needs, I want 2 DTs, 2 safeties, 1 bruising running back, one interior offensive lineman, and 1 O tackle. What am I missing? A partridge and a pear tree. As I was doing that countdown, that bro, did I literally say a partridge and a pear tree? Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Jackie, I don't know if they get 2 safeties or 2 DTs. I don't know if I think they could get 1 of each. That's what I mean there. I don't know if they go get a bruising running back, especially if Caleb Jackson stays. I do think they need an interior offensive lineman, and I do think they need an interior offensive tackle. With that said, I don't know of any other position that that you're missing there. I think that you could go for 1 apiece across the entire board, call it a day, call it even. I mean, I don't know who yet, but I do expect you to have some departures. I really do. All right. Alexander, let's get to some comments here before we roll out. Alexander Taylor says, Nuss got to get in the lab this summer. I haven't heard any Aaron Anderson much this spring. They haven't gotten him involved. I think they've been trying. They know what they have in Aaron Anderson. Now they've thrown him the ball some, not as much as that you would throw to a potential number one wide receiver. They hadn't thrown enough to Aaron. They didn't throw enough to Aaron last year. Guys, Aaron Anderson was your number one receiver a year ago. Wasn't Kyron Lacy. It was not Kyron Lacy. Haven't been put him in situations. The one situation that I remember him being in was the red zone. They ran a corner route, which why they ran a corner from the 5-yard line, they let him run a corner route. Makes no sense to me. They threw a jump ball on a corner inside fade, slight inside fade to Aaron Anderson. They threw a fade route, basically, or a corner route, and a jump ball situation to a dude that's 5'7". It's practice. I get it, but, I mean, doesn't benefit him. He's had some really good catches. He's had some really good plays. I don't think – here's the thing I'd say about Aaron Anderson. There's nothing that he's shown me that would tell me that he's digressed. How about that? Nothing I've seen that's like he's not dropping the ball. He's still running really good routes. There's nothing that says like, oh, man, I mean, he was really good last offseason, and then look at him now. They were throwing him the ball a lot last offseason, though. A lot. Holden Lee says, what about Josh Thompson? Doesn't seem like Weston Davis is giving up the spot. Let me go there first. Let me say this, guys, to any no transfer portal guy, like I'm trying to think, outside of Patrick Peyton, nobody has no transfers rotated with the ones, really. No one. In reference to Weston Davis, I mean, he's been a top riser for me. I don't think Josh Thompson's a tackle. I think he's a guard. Guys, he started 14 games at guard last year. The first position group of O-line that I want to see come fall is from left to right, Tyree Adams, DJ Chester, Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, and then Weston Davis. That's the 5 that I want to see run out there. Because once nobody can go in the portal, stop hurting people. You shouldn't be worried about people's feelings now. And I understand the portal aspect of it. F that. I'm not, none of that's happened. I think he's a guard. He's not a tackle. Guys, Emory Jones was an athletic guard that they forced to play tackle. Guys, both of your tackles, people think that they're going to move to guard. Guys, some of these dudes don't have bias on this. Some of them just believe what they believe. Brandon Reese says the weapons are there to be one of the better offenses in college football this upcoming season. I agree with that. David says, why does nobody talk about Jacoby and Guillory? Because he hasn't been there, David. I mean, I remember, David, that like you said some things to me about you are always negative on us. Well, I mean, you asked me now about Jacoby and Guillory, and he hadn't been there. He tore his Achilles. He just came back yesterday. And we talked about Jacoby and Guillory like all day yesterday. At least I did. Face on YouTube says Mansour Delane. Mansour's look good. Yeah, he's looked really good. But again, they've limited his rep with the ones. Mansour, to me, I kind of feel like it's kind of a written up thing. Now, could you say he's been running with the ones? Yes. I mean, but they've rotated him out in so many different situations, and he's run with the twos. I mean, he would be the only other one that I could think running with the ones. So, yeah, to that point, you may be right. You know who did not make my list that I wanted it, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have put on my list would be Tyree Adams. And that's probably on me. Probably should go back and we don't talk about Tyree Adams enough. That's my fault. That is my fault.